The bells ringing out in Westminster Abbey in London and ships sailing down the River Thames as the United Kingdom celebrates its longest living monarch. Today, Queen Elizabeth will break the record with just over 63 years and 6 months on the throne, beating only Queen Victoria, who was in power more than a century ago. Mark Phillips is in Newton Grange, Scotland, with more on how the UK is celebrating the Queen's milestone.
The Queen interrupted her annual Scottish vacation to mark this auspicious day, coming down to Edinburgh to open a new train line. But this wasn't about a train, it's about an 89-year-old Queen who just keeps chugging along. In 63 years, 216 days on the job, you learn a thing or two about how to do it. And if you're a queen who's supposed to be above politics, above all, say almost nothing. Although she did have a few appropriate words today.
Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones. My own is no exception. But I thank you all, and the many others at home and overseas, for your touching messages of great kindness.
The Queen doesn't only understand the job. Royal author Robert Hardman says she defined it.
The Queen is not elected. She's there to be, not to do.
And she has been just about everywhere and met just about everyone.
Very nice to see you again.
11 of the past 12 U.S. presidents, somehow missing out on LBJ. The United States may have shed this monarchy 2.5 centuries ago, but U.S. heads of state have learned they had better get things right when she's around.
She gave me a look that only a mother could give a child.
Elizabeth, it seems hard to believe now, was not destined to be queen. She would have been just a minor peripheral royal had her uncle not abdicated in favor of her father. And she was but a tender 25-year-old when she became queen, being crowned the following year, and holding true to the promise she had made as a princess.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service.
It turned out to be long and active. She has modernized the monarchy for the times, says royal writer Roya Nika.
This is the monarch, the first monarch who opened her accounts to be scrutinized, the first monarch in this country who paid income tax, the first monarch to, go with the times and introduce things like, Facebook, Twitter.
But Elizabeth knows it's not the digital or virtual queen that matters, it's the real thing. To be the queen of the people, you must be seen among them. Sometimes it's small crowds at suburban train stations. Sometimes it's at big official occasions. The "Just Do It" slogan could have been invented for her.
She's had to do lots of disagreeable things. Her governments have made her have all sorts of horrible people to stay, dictators and megalomaniacs.
And with that smile through it all.
And she has had a very turbulent reign, if you think about it. Huge issues and problems within her family. Her children have been divorced. You have the death of Diana, which really rocked the monarchy. But she's come through all of those, and I think she's been a very dignified monarch.
There's a joke they tell about the Queen that she must think the world smells of fresh paint because of the way they spruce things up for her arrival. Judging from the way she's going, they're going to need a lot more paint. Vlad?
Fascinating story by Mark Phillips there. The Queen is one of the most fascinating monarchs in history. And an interesting fact, a lot of people credit her with maintaining the monarchy when she was just 18 years old. She's the only monarch to have served in the armed forces of Britain. She was a truck driver during World War II. A lot of people credit her family, her father George VI, her sister Margaret, and Queen Elizabeth the mother, for basically getting people through that whole very terrible time. So the question now becomes, will the Queen step down from the throne in her lifetime? Royal commentator Victoria Arbiter joined CBSN earlier to explain.
She will never step down.
You don't think?
Barring any unforeseen catastrophe or should she become physically, mentally incapacitated, she's never going to step down. On her 21st birthday, she gave an address while she was in South Africa. She promised to serve all the days of her life, whether they be long or short. At her Diamond Jubilee, she rededicated herself to the country. When she took her coronation vows before God, she is a devoutly religious woman. She promised to serve all of her life. That is what she is going to do. when she passes away, which will hopefully be many, many years from now, she will be succeeded by Prince Charles. It's the natural order of things. He's 66 already, and he is the longest-serving heir apparent in history. So it's going to be an elderly reign when he comes to the throne. The Queen was 25. Prince William, he could be in his 50s before he ever ascends the throne. Prince George stands to be the first monarch of the 22nd century. So we see this stretching way out into the future, but the Queen's not going anywhere just yet.